Hey there you guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to show you what's going on with these, what are they called? Kool Logs. I was going to plant a lot more of these, but I just haven't had the time. I have not had the time, nor the patience. It's not necessarily patience, it's mostly time, interest, I guess. I don't have a lot of space for them here, so because I want to hang them, but I am having really good success with them. They dry out obscenely fast. So I keep them on the dry side because I can't fill them up 3 times a day. So I water them once a week. I fill them up. Sometimes I let them soak. Let me show you. This is an Oncidium. This is the typical dancing ladies, and it was growing in a pot. You'll notice some Oncidiums like to grow up. So you plant them in the pot and you hope that they travel across the pot, but they don't. They grow up. You get a bulb, a pseudobulb on top of a pseudobulb on top of a pseudobulb, and then all the roots are just everywhere, and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing with these. How am I supposed to water these? So if you watched my planting video of this, you know that that's the reason why I planted it on here, because I wanted it to ramble up the side of the here of the Kool Log. So the roots still are not attaching necessarily to the Kool Log. So what I do is I usually fill up a container like this, just a container. Thank God there was no water in that. I didn't even look. I'm sitting on the floor here, and you got the little roots here. I fill this up with water, and I just dunk it in and let it sit there for, I don't know, 20 minutes, 6 hours, a day. You really shouldn't do it for a day, but I have done that. I've let it soak overnight because I've forgotten that I've done it. And then you take it out and the roots are nice and green again, and also the moss will be saturated, and then I also will fill up the reservoir. But it really enjoys being on the log. You can tell. I gave it a soak not long ago, and the pseudo bulbs are starting to plump up again, which they actually started to get a little wrinkly, and so yeah. That's this one. That's the Oncidium. Let me just stick it in this pot here for a minute. I should soak it again because the roots are all white. This is the Phalaenopsis. This is the Hawaii dragon girl that I got a long time ago from eBay, and I thought it was going to die. It ended up getting an infestation of scale. I had a big scale problem around here. Didn't get mealies, thank goodness, but scale, yes. And it's doing really, really well. It's got all kinds of root development. I don't know whether you're able to see it, but there's little roots being produced through the plant, and it really likes it. So I've had this watered, and now the moss is absolutely saturated. So I'm going to let this dry out before the next time I water it. And yeah, these things are really, really interesting. They are a great tool for growing your orchids in, especially if you have things that prefer to be mounted, because it allows you to put water in the reservoir. If you have, say, hardwood floors or something that you don't want to get wet or whatever, then I would recommend having them grow and then having something underneath them. It's hard to say. I grow them in the grow space, so I don't really care if water splashes on the floor, but if you had a place that you couldn't, I would try to rig up something that catches the water, maybe even wrapping the bottom in maybe some saran wrap or something to stop it from dripping down. Those are just ideas that are going through my head. I haven't tried it yet, but again, it's a porous material, so the water does come out. So if you have it over carpet, let's say, it might not be a great thing. But just keep that in mind. But being able to put water in the reservoir, it is invaluable for something that hangs. And if the plant that you are growing is something, say, like a Masdevallia or a Dracula, you can water it 16 times a day. Whenever it gets dry, I don't know, your house, it might dry out once a day. Your house, it might dry out once a week. I'm not sure. So whenever it dries out, you'll want to water it. For things that like to have it more moist. For things like a Phalaenopsis, you want to let it dry out for maybe a couple of days, maybe once a week go and fill it up. But you want to let the media dry between waterings, because Phalaenopsis don't like to be constantly moist. They will resent that and they will rot out their roots. So even if you're doing a semi-water culture or water culture, you're going to be like a day in water or 2 days in water and then 3 days out of water. So don't quote me on any of that because I haven't tried it, but I know that there's a group on Facebook, semi-water culture. I believe that's what it's called, and there's some great information there. So yeah, give that a look, see if you're interested in trying that. But just keep in mind that some orchids don't like to be wet all the time, and keep that in mind. Use this as a tool. So if it likes to be moist regularly, keep it more on the full side. If it likes to dry out between waterings, keep that in mind. Let this dry out, let the outside dry, and then water it again when you see fit. Just because it's here and you can put water in it doesn't mean you always have water. Excuse me, you don't always want to have water in it. Listen to me. I'm a gassy fool. So anyway, that is the Kool Logs, an update, and they're doing okay. This one here is doing much better since I moved it to a Kool Log. This one here is, well, it's doing much better anyway because it was almost dead when I moved it to a Kool Log, and it's starting to produce a new leaf, and I've got a new leaf. One of the leaves fell off, but that's all good. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a little update. Actually, Judy, you suggested doing an update on this one. Judy is going to be sort of a neighbor. She lives in the town next to mine at the new house. So hopefully we can get together, Judy, and discuss gardening and plants and crazy, because I will need a friend in that area that is as nuts about plants as I am. Hopefully you are as nuts about plants as I am. You certainly seem like you're an enthusiast. So looking forward to one day meeting you and discussing all of our crazy hobbies. So anyway, that is what I wanted to talk to you about. Kool Logs. I will be planting more in the new house. And until next time, happy growing, everyone.